Devin here, and welcome to my first duplex investment property. So this one here is on Bel Air Road in Baltimore City. So I'm going to go ahead and take you guys in a tour because this is right off the main road, so there's a lot of noise right out here. All right, so let's go ahead and take you guys inside. So this is actually the outer entrance, and we have two units, one above, one below. And I'm gonna go ahead and take you in here. All right, guys, so here we are in my first gut renovation. And as you can see, this entire place has almost new everything. And that was definitely not how it first started out. This entire place has been completely redone. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, the appliances, everything. So definitely a huge task, huge undertaking. And I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a tour about where it was and where it is now. So first off, for the walls of this property actually used to be a wooden wooden planking, and it was really flimsy material. Definitely had to get rid of that. We just put sheetrock drywall over all of it, tore it all down. These ceilings that you see here, that you have the recessed lighting in, this actually used to have like an old dirty fan. It was all drop ceiling, and I instead just tore all of that out, reframed it with these wooden beams and such, all of that, and then put up the recessed lighting in between those wooden beams, and then re-sheetrocked that. Then we painted this entire place shell white just to give it the nice open feel that you're seeing now. Another thing we did was we tore out all of the carpet that you see here. There's actually this whole dingy carpet, and what we did instead was replace it with this vinyl flooring. This stuff is highly durable and really resistant to a lot of things that I think might happen during a typical tenancy. Another thing we did was we replaced the windows. This is something that we had to definitely look at. Unfortunately, every single window was extremely expensive. You're talking about like $250 a window for labor and the parts. I mean, these things are brutal. Definitely didn't know that when I first started out, so I was kind of shocked by the initial cost of those, but we had to get it done. All the windows were broken, a lot of them screens missing, stuff like that. We had to have it all redone. We actually kept in this apartment the original baseboard heaters, and that was a choice kind of more primarily based on budget. The heaters worked, and we were kind of needing to spend funds on other places. I then went ahead and put this baseboard crown molding. We installed that after the drywall was done, and it kind of really fleshes out the entire place into this almost pure white look, but not really 100%. This is the kitchen that I actually had to pick out all of my own cabinets, and that was actually a little harder than I originally thought it would be. I had known nothing about cabinets. As you guys know, I actually started this entire thing with no renovation experience. We're not 100% done on these cabinets. We gotta add some cabinet pulls. You might notice that the cabinet pulls that actually allow you to kind of pull these out, those are all missing right now, so you have to kind of grab it from a side and grab it. But we have laminate countertop, and everything else is kind of like what basic design of what you would see in a typical rental. And that is this open design kitchen sort of living room setup that we have here. So let's go ahead and take you into the bedroom. So in the bedroom, we actually put a softer, like warm light, so that way it wouldn't be as kind of jarring when you're trying to sleep at night and stuff like that. It's actually a nice softer light for your eyes. And otherwise, a lot of this room is gonna look very similar to what it was. There really wasn't a point in changing it. The only thing we considered doing was putting a wall right here. The reason why is because up next you're gonna see the bathroom, and we were considering, well, if you had guests over, then you probably could end up having to go through your bedroom in order to get to the bathroom. We went ahead and left that part out for now, but we'll go ahead and see how it works out. Ultimately though, I think it'll do just fine. You may also notice the lights that we chose in everything, the recessed lighting and everything, is all LED lighting. Not only does this save the energy bill for our tenants, but also you don't have to replace the light bulbs. So I made sure to do that in all my design decisions. Before there was this old dirty fan once again. I actually kind of wish I kept a fan in here, especially since it has no central air. So it would have been nice to have at least one fan. A window unit will have to take care of that job. But however, I still love the LED lighting idea. I wanted to take away the fan so that way nothing would break. I didn't want to deal with moving parts. That was a design decision on my part. I'm pretty confident with it. We'll see where that ends up taking us. So I'll go ahead and take you guys into the bathroom. And so here in this bathroom, we actually installed everything new. You guys can see it right here, taking a look at it. New vanity, new toilet, new tiling. I mean, all of this looked very different. In fact, we had an old pink tub. Not sure why it was pink. We just threw that out, ripped it out of there, just replaced it completely. I had to install like new, just everything, the fixtures, hell, even this medicine cabinet. So a lot of the older designs seem to be just kind of thrown together. Even this window here, you will see actually was this old like wooden window. It looked like some kind of like thing they just kind of quickly threw in there. I'm not really sure, but this house was definitely given the least amount of effort possible before I completely ripped it up. We even had to make a couple other adjustments. We had to actually rip out the entire floor here, right where you see with the toilet, because of the fact that it was getting really soft from water damage. So that was another thing I had to face, a lot of water damage in this house. I mean, you could see all over the drop ceiling where you see water damage marks and stuff like that. So we had to make sure that we just took out anything that was a potential danger for the tenants. So now that we got done with the first floor, I'll take you outside in a minute. This place does have a backyard, but I want to show you the second floor just to show you kind of a difference in design. It had a completely different contractor working on it, and you're going to see a real big difference in style because of that. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so here we are up in the second floor, and the design here is a little bit more narrow. You can see the walls are quite a bit of a different color here. It's actually a grayish color. This is a common color that you're starting to see in rentals a lot, but we had to keep some of that older paneling, which doesn't give quite the smooth look that we wanted. Also, these trimmings are some of those old style trimmings with lead paint on them. I'll get into that in a minute, but that's why you're gonna see it looks very different. So this is actually a 2-bedroom apartment. And you're gonna see kind of how we kept the rooms. Once again, this case we didn't have LED lights. The LED light idea came a little bit later, so these do have bulbs that need to be changed, but you'll see recessed lighting where it is LED in other parts of the house. Otherwise, we have a typical 1-bedroom, another 1-bedroom over here. This one just with recessed lighting. One design decision though I did make that I was really happy with were actually these. So this place actually had baseboard heaters just like the bottom unit. But we instead traded out those old baseboard heaters because upstairs they were broken, and we traded them for these. These are much smaller, all right, a lot less kind of like space that they occupy, but they also take up half the energy and have twice the output as those bottom unit ones, which means the tenants upstairs are gonna have a substantially lower energy bill and yet be still warmer in the winter. So we're definitely gonna make sure that we change out the ones on the bottom floor as soon as possible. We already have a tenant moving in tomorrow, so that we're gonna have to work with her in order to get that done. But this is something I absolutely say, if your tenants can afford the utilities, then they can also afford the rent. As soon as they can't afford those utilities though, it can become a little bit of a problem. But other than that, very happy with what I did downstairs. I would say the only thing I would have changed here, get rid of this paneling. You can see kind of what it looks like if you just paint over the paneling rather than drywall it. You got kind of like this, I don't know, sort of spongy look to it. I think it looks a lot better if you just sheetrock the whole thing. We might do that in the future, or we might leave this just as is. So let's go ahead into the kitchen. Actually, before we go into the kitchen, let me take you into the bathroom. So here in this bathroom, you can see we actually kept a lot of the flooring the same. A lot of the overall design was the same. Originally, we wanted to make a walk-in shower, all right? And we wanted to fit it here. The problem was twofold. One, this cast iron tub that I'm kicking here, this thing was really, really expensive to demolish. So about another $1,000 onto my cost. So we decided to go ahead and keep it one. Two, also when putting in the standing shower and trying to make it work, ran into two little problems. One, it kind of makes things kind of bulge out a little too big, but two, most importantly, with 2 bedrooms, you're generally gonna have people with kids. And kids, generally need a tub, especially when they're younger. So we decided to go ahead and keep the tub because we knew the people who rented this top area would probably more likely have children. So we wanted to go ahead and accompany that. A tub is a huge factor for moms out there, moms and dads who are raising their kids. Otherwise, though, we just tried to make it accommodating. We made sure the bar was giving them as much space as possible by making it kind of lean out a little bit. Otherwise, though, this is a pretty standard bathroom. We had to make sure we had heat in the bathroom, so we had to put a baseboard heater, one of these that you see in the other rooms, and that pretty much made it come up to code. So it's little things like that that you definitely want to think about. Other than that, now let's definitely check out that kitchen. All right, so for here in the kitchen, we actually had to make another couple budget decisions. We wanted to originally get rid of these cabinets. As you can see, these cabinets are of the original design of the house. Well, not design, but the original one that I bought. And we made a decision to keep them because cabinets are brutally expensive. You're talking about, even for the cheap sets, it can be about $1,000 if you get them brand new. Now, there are places I found that had cabinets for a cheaper price, but it's generally at these like secondhand shops where people kind of donate cabinets. And it was hard to find exactly what I needed to fit in this space. We just chopped it up to, you know what, they're functional, they work. And in the area that we're in, this is actually still considered pretty nice cabinets. So we decided to go ahead and keep them. We have a gas stove here, so once again, nice utility bill like cuts for the tenant, which helps them afford, of course, the rent. Once again, these heaters and everything else we left largely the same. We didn't sheetrock anything, though, except for the ceiling. You'll probably see that there's actually, this all used to be drywall and a lot of water damage once again. Once again, wooden beams, everything like that. We also ended up getting this massive fridge through here. One design decision we had to make was removing the doors of the hallway that you guys just saw me come through. You may notice here, we had to kind of cut these down from the original concept, and we had to remove almost every single door. To get these appliances in here, guys, I would highly recommend either shopping around, either option A, shopping around on like little apps called OfferUp or stuff like that, where people sell used items. You can find a lot of $100 fridges or less on there. But another thing is, if you can get an appliance guy who basically sells used fridges, he will actually deliver and bring all that stuff to you at a very efficient price, saving you tons of time in the searching process. I learned that about halfway through, and from now on, I'm doing all my appliances that way. So now that we got all of that out the way, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the last two parts of this house. It actually comes with a basement and a backyard, so let's go ahead and see those now. All right, so here we are actually in the kitchen of the bottom floor, and it leads directly to the basement. All right, it leads it through this little door here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys downstairs, and you'll start to see this is the one area where we could possibly turn this into a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but we decided not to, and I'll show you why. All right, so we are down here in the basement of this place, and we decided not to finish the ceilings, not to do anything with it. And you're gonna notice it's still got all the exposed beams. We did have to chip away at a lot of lead paint. Couldn't have any cracking paint. We decided to keep the original washers and dryers here because they worked. We figure we'll let them break first before we do anything else. But what you're gonna notice about this place relatively quickly is that there's actually a little bit, there's a kind of the startings of a bathroom. This toilet actually works. And then there's a kind of a bedroom in there. Now the reason we didn't turn this into a 2-bed, 2-bath is because one, we would need more plumbing added for the tub over here. And then two, the ceilings. So this is little things that you might not know, but your ceilings have to be, oh, sorry about the echo here, guys, but your ceilings have to be 7 feet tall in order to class as an actual bedroom. You'll notice here that the ceilings are slightly too small. One thing you guys are going to want to do is know how far your own reach is, so that way you can kind of tell where how high a ceiling has to be. So in order to actually fix this problem, we would have to dig through this concrete here and dig another foot, not even knowing what we would find underneath. There could be a pipe, there could be all kinds of things going on. So you can tell that because they had a closet here, there actually used to be a bar here for a closet, and because of the light and all the outlets, because they kept the outlets where they had a certain ratio of outlets every number of feet, which is required by code for a bedroom. They clearly wanted this to be a bedroom. Another thing you can see they wanted it to be a bedroom was because they put an egress door here. Egress meaning that it's an escape. It's an alternate method for someone to get out of the house in the case of a fire. With these things here, you can tell that's what they intended for, was they wanted this to be a bedroom. We might think about trying to make it a bedroom in the future, but as of right now, the real option is we just have to keep it as a 1 bed, 1 bath with a lot of storage. So let's go ahead and take you into the backyard. So this is the last place here. We have the backyard. This is actually only accessible to the first floor, and we've largely kept it pretty much exactly the way it is. There's a few things we had to do out here. You may notice on the windows there was actually some trim that we actually had to wrap in kind of an aluminum in order to hide the lead paint, and you'll see that in the pictures how it kind of used to look. And then also another thing we might end up getting rid of is this awning that you see behind you. This actually could kind of pose like a little bit of a safety hazard, but this awning we're probably going to get rid of over time. Little modifications, little tiny changes, but yeah, that's it. Otherwise, really no work needs to be done out here. We just cleaned it up a little bit from its original look, and that's it. That is all the work done on my house. Alright guys, so thanks for walking with me on a tour of my first full gut renovation. Definitely a lot of work went into this. Took about 2 months to do everything, and it only kind of got caught up due to budgeting issues sometimes. We went way over budget on this one. But it was a lot of learning experiences. A lot of things. We ended up redoing all the plumbing in the walls. We ended up doing all the electrical, completely redoing the roof and all of the, just everything. Just the entire house, completely flipped it. So definitely a lot of learning, and I can say I can probably do this now with less money and more quickly the next time around, which is always what's important. So I'm learning lessons each time I go. But if you guys have any lessons to teach, definitely let me know in the comment sections below. And also, what did you guys think of this house? Feel free to chat with me about it. I'm eager to keep talking with you guys as I keep going forward with more renovations. Talk to you all really soon.